evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to yet another edition of Teachers Talk. I'm your host, Fiona Charles Williams, the PRO of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, and this is Teachers Talk, episode 12. We have done so many different episodes already, and it's all good. It's all good. So we have just come off of Solidarity Week, but we still decided that we need to make sure that we are on and we're listening and everything like that. So with me in studios, we have none other than the heavy hitter. I'm going to allow him to do his due, and then we are going to make sure that we get into it. So go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasant, good afternoon to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and specifically to our members and generally the Teachers Union, the teachers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, our staff, national executive, and the general membership. I want to use this opportunity to commend all our teachers. I know this time is very hectic because you're preparing for all your examinations because of the 1 month notice of general elections. We know you will rise to the occasion as you have done in the past, but we want to remind you not to be overworked. Take one step at a time, eat properly, make sure that you get enough rest so that you could refresh yourself for the task ahead. We want to use this opportunity also to encourage the students to make sure that they put in the extra revision that is important. Don't get too much caught up in all the different shows which are taking place. Make sure you find time to study your work so that your grades would improve, you'll get better. And we want to applaud again the Lomans Leeward Anglican School for their outstanding performance in that tourism competition which they placed first. And also the North Union Secondary School for emerging first in that road relay that took place about a month ago.
Yeah.
Little less than a month ago, because it was close to independence. And also the North Union Secondary School for placing first in the Lions public speaking competition. We want to take this opportunity to appreciate the general public for their feedback, their comments, and we look forward to serve you as a union. So over back to our PR. I know we have people in the CUT always listening to us, and we want to applaud them also.
Yeah.
And greetings to everybody.
All right. So thank you very much, Brother Robbie. So definitely we want to shout out those persons listening to us on our Facebook Live feed, those persons who are listening on Boom 106.9 FM, those teachers, you all are phenomenal. And those persons in the CUT. So what's going on today? We're not fixed, we're not good. If Fuji just wants to be close to me, I don't understand what's going on here. That too. Okay, all right, okay, folks. So where am I? So, Brother Robbie, we have couple of things that we have to get sorted today. Hi, Javid, how are you? Yes. Yeah, I'm surrounded by handsome men to the people. I feel nice, I tell you. So we have a couple of things we want to get done. So because we are just fresh off of it and it's fresh in our minds, we are going to start with Solidarity Week. So we just had a week from the 9th to the 14th of November, celebrating our annual Solidarity March and Rally. This year we took the theme celebrating 50 years of courage, dedication, and pride in the struggle of 1975. So, Brother Robbie, as the president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, as somebody who I consider not just a heavy hitter, but a stalwart. You know, I always come to you in regards to the history of the union, and you know, and your knowledge is so vast. Um, let's have your postmortem take or your synopsis take of this year's Solidarity Week.
Well,
We can begin at beginning, and then we could come down to the
before
end.
we do that, I must appreciate those members of the public
Yeah.
because it's a public activity,
Oh yes.
except for our general meeting,
AGM,
and
yeah.
to some extent the President's Award. But the march and the rally, that's a public event, and we want to appreciate the public for being in solidarity with us and our sister unions here. And those who sent in solidarity messages to us, we do
Oh, yeah.
appreciate that so much. And our teachers, the members, especially those who showed up at more than one event.
Oh yeah.
Like, for example, the annual general meeting, and some of the same people were there at the President's Award,
Yeah.
and the march and the rally.
Yeah.
You know, that was good. And also those members who showed up at the new members workshop, even though we realized that for some reason,
For some strange reason.
some strange reason,
Yes, use the word strange there,
the
yeah.
authorities did not communicate with the principals, because
Yeah.
a number of principals reached out to. They said they did not see any correspondence to them,
indicate,
to the
right.
school. And that is something we have to work on, because even at the President's Award, I made it mention, and you did also said
Yeah.
it in your welcome remarks, the importance of social dialogue. You know, it goes so much for industrial relations, good industrial relations. You know, you can't have the employer on one hand appears to be silent when the trade union is reaching out to you and communicating, and you're not responding.
Definitely so.
You know, and that is why on more occasions we appear on social media through this medium, Home FM and our TV programs, you know, to really draw the attention of the public of a number of issues. And this was never so. It was never so. You know, can you imagine in the years past, before 2000, we would communicate to the Ministry of Education. Sometimes just a phone call.
Right.
But of course, there are issues that you would have to communicate formally for the purpose of records and for, you know, the benefit of who you're communicating with. And now you have two ministers of education. Something is wrong somewhere. You know,
So now we have two ministers of education. The communication seems to be
it has gone very, very
Non-existent.
poor. I should say it's very poor.
poor. Suggests that there is communication.
There's communication.
Okay.
We will get circulars from the Ministry of Education, just
Right.
like what will go to schools and other educational institutions. But when we communicate issues that are affecting schools and our members,
Right.
that's just a silence.
Right.
And I kept saying it's only one occasion the minister responded to us. You know? And it's very sad. Because when the government started out, they appeared to be all-inclusive. Just like when I was, in some cases, some people, I'm choosing my words very carefully. When a person just get into a relationship, you know, intimate relationship, and even further than that, when they just get married, everything seems to be like when you just start dating. You know, there's that
Fresh, new and
zoom,
excitement.
that zeal, that enthusiasm. You're not missing the communication that is so critical.
Right.
But as years go on,
You become
people put down
complacent.
arms. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's because the Prime Minister said at one time he has 75% of the teachers on his side. You know, and lo and behold, teachers have to spend almost 3, 4, 5 years to get the appointments. you know. And when teachers come on the line to protest, the government, the police arrested one of them and other people in the society. You know, it's very, very sad.
Right.
But going back to the question you asked about way back then, when the teachers came out, now it could have been correct to say that it was an illegal march. Yeah? Because you were still under the colonial powers,
Right.
which there were laws which very strict and prohibited persons from assembling.
And we are talking about in 1975.
1975, right? So even though you had the Universal Declaration of Human Rights,
Right.
which gives you the authority, the permission to associate yourself,
Right.
the right to belong, you know, and all these later on came into our constitution, you know, handed down to us by Britain.
Right.
So it's important that people understand that when the teachers went out to march and they were tear gas on the 14th of November 1975, that was just one of many events,
Right.
because there was a strike that started on the 3rd of November. It
Right.
lasted for a whole month. And I am glad that Brother Mike Brown, a former president of the Teachers Union, recounted, as we have already done
Right.
in on many of our programs, that the nurses were integral, because the climate, the environment was conducive for any kind of action.
Yeah.
Similarly to when Ralph Gonsalves and the ULP pulled all civil society organizations and trade unions in 2000 to march. The environment was right because people were calling for change.
Right.
You understand? So the situation as it stands in 1975, the nurses had similar issues like teachers, like the promised retroactive payment by the Milton K2 government. That was for all public servants.
Right.
Salary increase, and that was not forthcoming. The nurses had also problems with working conditions similar to teachers. And so on the 3rd of November, the nurses had a strike, and teachers were involved in the strike. You understand? In fact, they had a march away from what we call the Victoria Park. Now it's Independence Park.
Right.
Right? Coming down to grammar school area, and the teachers, was about 27 teachers who were arrested. And then Brother Mike did not go into the details, but Dr. Cyrus, he probably decided to take action in solidarity with the nurses.
Right.
You know? And in those days, we didn't have many doctors. So he asked for leave. And after probably an extended leave, and he decided to leave the country.
Right.
And they actually brought in somebody else from Grenada to fill in for him. So the nurses and the teachers, they were always together, hand in hand,
Right.
fighting for similar causes. Right? So it's important that we understand that.
Right.
And there was a lot of communication taking place with the teachers union and the government over all those issues, working conditions and so on. And the strike that took place was perceived as a primary school strike, because many teachers who were members of the union and who took part in the strike, the union had more primary school teachers.
At that time.
Yes. Joy Brown was the first secondary school teacher to begin with the primary school teachers on the 3rd of November.
Okay.
And then later on, other teachers from the secondary school, they became members of the union, and they joined into the strike,
Right.
the protest. I must also single out Dr. Adrian Fraser, who was a young teacher. I think he had just about close to a year or a little less than a year being a member of the teachers union.
Right.
And the leadership of the union saw something in him. You know, when you're a leader, you would see certain things in your members that you need to draw out for the benefit of the organization. That's one of the mark of a good leader. So they called on Adrian Fraser. He was very young. He was not on the executive.
Right.
And they called on him to lobby or picket his school. I'm yet to dig deeper to find out what was that school. I'm not sure if it was a grammar school.
Grammar school, I think.
Right? And then he was given the task to monitor what is happening in the country school. Now, when they say country, you're talking about North Windward.
Right.
And he did that. So we need to give kudos to him. People like Pajak, and we had Pajak at the match. We want to apologize to Pajak because Pajak was supposed to say something at the Solidarity, and somewhere, I don't know how it slipped us. It didn't go onto the program.
Right.
But Pajak, we're going to find some forum.
Definitely.
Probably if we could get you to come in the studio here with us, or probably on the TV, we have to find some way to get you involved.
Definitely.
Yeah, Robbie Fitzpatrick was there.
Yeah.
Sylvia Jack. And there was somebody else who was around there on the march.
Right.
And, you know, out of that...
Bernard,
Bernard was there also. Right? So, I mean, there are a lot of other people. Don D. Riggs.
Right.
Mr. Mulrin. Mr. Mulrin called me a couple of days before the match.
Okay.
And I met Robbie Fitzpatrick the Thursday before the match, and he asked me, and I said yes, and he said I'm going to be there. Now, if the younger teachers who are now part of the membership, if they have that kind of zeal and commitment, you know, these aged persons, they really put our younger teachers to really think.
Right.
I'm using my words carefully because I don't want to offend anybody. But to think more, as last year we talk about commitment and dedication to the union, and Sister Virginia Albert Poet from St. Lucia came and did a great speech. And Brother Mike Brown came and also did a good job. Of course, we're going to make a few corrections.
Right.
Because it's important that we put the history right. You know, because when we go back, he made mention of the 1993. Right, yes. The 1993 collective agreement. It was Macaulay Peters. He was the chief education officer, and the minister of education was Alpen Allen.
I think he had mentioned John Hahn.
Right, it's Alpen Allen. And our president at the time was Tyrone Buck.
Right.
Right, and then you had Joy Brown, who was the immediate past president. Okay, and you had the second vice president was Clyde Robinson, and Fitzjones was the general secretary.
Okay.
You know, so the records are there. Yvonne Francis Gibson, right, while she was in government, she signed twice,
right,
as a witness and also as a minister of the government.
Right.
And then the most important collective agreement, not because it was signed by me as the president.
Right.
That was in 2003. There was a collective agreement that was signed in 2003. At that time, Mike Brown and Clayton Morgan, they were the two ministers of education. Yes, we had two ministers of education at the time.
Okay.
Somebody used to say one is the junior minister, one is the senior minister.
Right.
Right? And we signed a collective agreement. That is when we introduced paternity leave, which is a start. 3 days, right?
Right.
But we know time has passed and
times have
you
changed.
really need more.
Yeah.
And then we moved the maternity leave from 2 months
to 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
In fact, when we actually started the negotiations under the NDP, right? And then elections were coming. Okay? And then there was a little delay. So when the ULP took over, the government assigned Mike Brown to take the lead to expedite the process.
Okay.
Yes?
Right.
And so that happened. So we signed and we got, when I said we need 3 months, he asked me where I get that from, which part in the Caribbean. and I tabled a document from the ILO, which said 3 months was the minimum.
Right.
And I said around the table, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the government at the time, they were following the Cuban model. I say it should be a year. You understand? But we know the capacity and so on of our little tiny island to implement certain things. And we have to be always mindful of that when we go to negotiation.
Right.
It's not everything that you would get. And then we introduced the election leave. It was Article 15, and then the new collective agreement that we signed in 2005 when Otto Sam became the president. All those leave rolled over and went into the new collective agreement.
Right.
Because every time you sign a new collective agreement, some of your benefits that you had would come over into the new one.
Right.
So you would always find some improvement. It is not supposed to roll back. It's supposed to improve and get better.
Definitely.
And then we have another collective agreement which we have not signed.
Yeah.
Right? We started some conversations and we have been asking the authorities to come and meet us at the table.
Right.
So whereas the teachers in 1975, they were fighting for a collective agreement, the situation still exists today.
Right.
You understand? Whereas we are asking for salary, we wrote the government and we asked to come to the table before you ring the bell. But so sad you ring the bell on yourself. You understand? You went and you announced this and that, and it could have been better.
Right.
Because we were looking at a 2-year cycle. Yeah?
Yeah.
We were looking forward to that. And there were a number of other things that we had that we're looking for. Allowances for teachers who manage cooperatives, school feeding program, head of departments, the issue of casual mileage, duty-free allowance, duty-free concessions, you know, and the list goes on and on.
Right.
And the vexing question of the $58,000 that the government owed us.
Still owe?
Since 20 years, they owed us that money, and they have not paid it. Okay. And those people who are principal way back in 2010, they robbed the principals $90 of the NDA allowance. So some people have retired and ain't get that. People like me, I never got it. Okay? So we want back all those. So we're looking forward to sign a memorandum of understanding with a government after the elections. And if these things are not there, then whoever goes there, whether it's NDP or ULP, we still have to stand and fight.
Right.
Because even though Mike Brown and Clayton Borgin, they left the ranks of the teachers union and they went into politics, we still have to fight.
Right.
I remember the ULP had a 100 days program and they launched it at the Methodist Church Hall. And I was invited as the president. And when I look at the list, I saw nothing about the teachers union.
Right.
So I said to Mike, I called him aside and I said, if the teachers union is an important stakeholder in education, where do we fit into this? And it is right then we had a conversation about having a meeting, starting to negotiate and that sort of thing. And then he gave me a date. And when we checked, that was the day Parliament was meeting. So I went and made a news release. So it put some kind of pressure to say, well, you can't give us a date when you're going somewhere else.
Right.
The point of the matter is, when our members go for political office, regardless of which side, we wish them all the best. And if they win, we say congratulations. When Senator Chevron John went into politics, she made a critical decision. We asked her, we had conversation with her. Because she's one of them who had to resign.
Right.
Because the election leave was not yet
implemented. Right.
And she said she wanted to go into politics. She wanted to be a full-time politician. So that is somebody who went into politics not for the money. Because had she stayed in teaching, she would have been making more money.
Right.
You understand?
Definitely.
When Honorable Curtis King went into politics, we also congratulating him and wish him all the best.
Right.
You understand? And now that Brother Andrew John, who worked with us, who is still a member of the Teachers Union, is going into politics, we also wish him all the best.
Right.
Conroy Hawkins is a member of the Teachers Union. We also wish him all the best.
Yeah.
You understand? And the list goes on and on. Because this is one union, and we have to commend and congratulate our teachers, our members, for moving on to serve higher. That is what the Article 16 that end up in the new collective agreement is about. Election leave.
Right.
It was our vision that teachers who are members of the union, who have had at least 3 years, they run for political office. And if they are unsuccessful, they will be reinstated with all the benefits.
Right.
The government said that is aspirational. And so we tested the collective agreement in the court. Yes? And one judge said, you all don't have a case. And Justice Storm said, yes, the teachers union had a case.
Right.
And so 3 teachers were affected. One of them has gone to the great beyond, Elvis Daniel.
Yeah.
You had Johnson and you had Thomas. Edison's Thomas, Bash. And we won that case, and the government appealed, and we let them again.
Right.
You understand? And then you had the Otto Sam issue, where they transfer Otto to Nemo. They didn't give him a job description. That is something they always doing when they want to punish people. You put you somewhere, like they abandon you, they exile you, and they don't give you a proper job description, so you don't know your line of authority, what you're supposed to do, and that sort of thing. And we won that case again.
Right.
Then come the vaccine mandate. We beat them again. But because the prime ministers in the OECS, they set up the search committee. And the search committee is responsible for appointing the judges in the OECS. The prime ministers in the OECS, that committee is obligated to them.
Right.
If I set up a committee, there is some kind of obligation to who set you up. So Ventus go and overrule all that Justice Esco Henry said happened to the workers, the public sector workers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that matter now, the government file and say it's no longer public interest.
Public interest, yeah.
You could hear more nonsense?
And it's no longer
And
an
the
issue
same
of the
court say, you know
Constitution.
you're wrong. This matter have to go to the Privy Council.
Right.
So we are now going to the Privy Council.
Right. So you said all of that, but you did not answer my question.
Yes, I'm coming to the answer now.
Okay, good.
So in terms of what happened through the week, I am satisfied, although there are still improvements.
Of course.
We have to work on our attendance and our annual general meeting.
Right.
And I'm not going to call the name of the school, but when we select a venue and you have a staff of more than 20, I expect at least quarter of the teachers there to attend.
Right.
You know? So that is important. And you have a cluster of schools
In the area.
and some people were not there. So how do you want the union to represent you when you're not coming to look at the business of the union, to critique what is being done, to give advice to the executive so that we would do our reflection and see where we need to get better to perform our duties. Yes?
And, you know, strange enough, you mentioned that, and I remember not the last AGM, I think it's the AGM before, in the last biennium, there was a statement made saying that it's to them, like this was a person who was accustomed attending AGM, and we were having issues then. The person stated that the union, people are happy. It seems like if people are happy with the leadership or whoever is at the helm of the union in terms of the executive, and they feel as though the union is in good standing, so they don't need to attend AGMs. And I was like, why would you say something like that? And the person said, well, you know, in the past where the leadership looked a little shaky, or that was the perception, persons were attending AGMs. So as a person who has been in the union and so for so long, what do you say to that statement?
Well,
what do you make of that statement?
I think the as it stands now, people, I think teachers are very smart people. We are very critical.
Right.
And if they smell like a rat,
right,
they would turn out in the numbers.
Okay.
Sometimes they would turn out in the numbers to investigate further, to know what is happening, and that is good. Right. But we need more of that. Even though the union is in good hands and you're satisfied with the performance of the union, you still need to come to the meetings, because the Constitution permits for us to hold these meetings at certain times.
Right.
And you cannot have a meeting if you do not have a quorum.
Right.
So it's important that people understand that. That is why in our new members workshop, we go through the Constitution with a fine teeth comb, so that people would know what are the objectives, what is the function. You have to nip it in the bud early, so that people are aware. You can't belong to an organization and you don't know the objectives. What is the role of the treasurer? What is the role of the secretary and the president and so on? Because we're expecting that someday some of these people would move up and assume these positions. So the training, the capacity building is critical. So don't just sit back and say, oh boy, union fighting for me, I have legal representation, I have my membership card, or is expecting it. You know, I could write to Walden University and you get a 40% discount every semester.
Or I have my insurance.
Or you have your insurance, and if you get sick, you have your critical illness. Or if you're doing a business, the union patronize your business. That sort of thing. But you
and
have
those things are important.
We need the membership to stand with us. You have to be visible.
Right. And I think persons need to understand as well that, you know, decision making can take place at the AGM.
Exactly.
The AGM can mandate the executive to carry out a certain decision or mandate
that is why the leadership of the union cannot publicly endorse certain things. If the membership does not give a mandate. This is the democracy of the organization. This union has a diversity. And when you are in the leadership, you have to respect the diversity that exists. You know, that is being smart. You understand? You have to understand the context in which you operate. And you have to always place a value on everybody's ideas. The whole issue of values education. That's what we learn at college, at university. You know, there's always a boundary line. And if you're going to cross that boundary line, you have to consult with the executive. Or you have to consult with the wider membership. So if the wider membership give a mandate to something, you and the president or the PRO, you could speak at large on it. If the membership decides we are going to the Privy Council, nobody else on the executive can frustrate you.
Which was the case a few years ago when we had the AGM or the emergency meeting with regards to the vaccine mandate.
And similarly, especially when a matter is decided at the highest decision-making body, which is the convention. When we took the government to court, for not reinstating the 3 teachers. We deliberated on that at the biennial convention and it was unanimously accepted. Okay? So, when we came back now to the AGM, other people said, oh, stop the discussion on that, y'all ain't getting anyway. I said, y'all have to go back to the convention. You can't overturn a decision which has been made at the highest decision-making body. When we took the government to court on Otto Sam for when they fired the man for nothing.
Right.
Although Otto Sam was always said he never give up his responsibility as a principal,
Right.
as a teacher, right? When we took that matter, it went to the General Council, it went to the General Meeting,
Right.
and that matter was deliberated even at the level of the Biennial Convention. So when I serve as president all those years, and people come and they say this, yes, you listen to everybody, but you have to always respect the Constitution of the Union. If a higher body than the executive makes the decision, you have to go back to that body. And if the highest decision body made that decision, what are you going to do? If you don't want to comply with it, the membership would get rid of you. And that is why some of our leaders messed up
Right.
real badly. One of the mark of a leader is to listen. You can't just do your own thing. If something violates the Constitution and the executive is pushing away, the leadership, and the leadership is collective, you have to sit down
Right.
and walk it out. Yeah? So we're not satisfied with the attendance at the
AGM.
And also at the new members workshop. Because all these events, you have to prepare food.
Right.
You have to prepare snacks. Okay?
Right.
Just like the workshop we had in July. You ask people to register to come. Somebody pass in and say, I have to call you. I say, come to the march and call me there.
Right.
Come to the march where we could talk. If you notice a couple teachers at the rally, when they came and they were leaving, I had a little chit chat with them.
Right.
Because it's not often you get a time to reminisce and talk.
Right.
We went out North Central Windward on Tuesday and visited the schools
in the area.
and mobilized and invite teachers to come.
Right.
You understand? And the 2 weeks before, we went South Leeward and did the same thing. We had about 19 persons joining the union.
Right.
When we went to South Leeward, we want to welcome you and we thank you for choosing to be associated with the greatest trade union in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. One that is democratic. We hold our meetings. We present our financial records for scrutiny. They are audited by external auditors.
Yeah.
So nobody can thief your dues. And we use it and we account for it.
Right.
And that is why we invite you to the meetings to come. And that visit was a success. I know you would, you want to talk about it?
No, I would have spoken about the visit to down on the Leeward side already. But I definitely have to speak about my visit to Central Windward. Right. It was definitely good. I really enjoyed the welcome I got from New Prospect or Simon School, as I know it as Simon School, and definitely Bible
and then it's
Methodist.
two of you who went down that side,
Yes.
and two of you went up that side.
Yes.
And I want to commend you.
Yes,
and I
and
also want to commend Sister Yokan, because she alone went on that side up there.
That side, definitely. Yeah. And we were able to get new members and persons joining up even on our visit in, I think it's Simon School, or you call it New Prospect School. Let me call the school by its correct name. And, I was very much happy. But I want to say, though, my highlight, and by the way, before I get to my highlight, I'm looking at the online feed and I'm seeing persons saying that they were very disappointed with the turnout of our members to the AGM and the march and the rally. And I just want to say, this year's march, we had more persons than we had last year.
Yeah.
Right? So I see that as a plus.
Yeah, it's
getting better. However, to be frank, I was too a little disappointed because it was the it was the 50th anniversary of such a significant date that I thought that teachers would have made a more concerted effort to come out and support the union. I mean, if it's only one thing that you had to support the union with, it was this. And I remember hearing some teachers like prior to the march saying, oh, they don't really want to come because at this stage, with the climate that is going on right now, they don't wish to wear red or they don't wish to wear a particular color. And I remember having to tell teachers or certain teachers, the union is older than
The
the
political
parties.
Yeah.
You know, and this was the union's color before this party even came into existence. So that is neither here nor there. That is superficial. That is, you know, that's irrelevant. What should have been relevant is the support of the organization that has fought for you and will continue to fight for you. Political party come, political parties go, but your union will always be there.
And always remember the struggle continues, and we cannot forget this very important legacy, this piece of history, where many of the teachers in 75, they were tear gas, and you said it. They were imprisoned. Some of them give up their job. Some people migrated.
Some persons had no choice.
Yeah, they were transferred. They were persons who curtailed their training at the Teachers College.
And I actually have a family friend whose father was a teacher at the time, and he recounted that he was teaching and not getting a salary. And he was like, well, what's happened here? I haven't gotten my salary in about 2-3 months, only to find out that he was fired, and he didn't know he was fired. And that was because he took an active role in the march in 1975, and as a result of that created a rift in his own family. So teachers had issues then, and it's ironic. And I mean, I'm looking at the time to it. It's ironic that the issues of 1975 or the issues of 2025 mirror the issues of 1975. It's the same thing 50 years after.
Problems we're having in the school with rats and
and bats and termites
fleas and mole. You know, and while you say mole, the situation at the Bethel High School, they have not done anything. I saw a picture recently where the board down on the desk. And Langley Park School, they're digging up the hard code in the time when children have to be playing. Where you want the children to play? In the air?
So hold on. Now you're talking about Langley Park. Let me ask my darling Javed. Don't get jealous, Fuji. Let me ask Javed to show us what's going on in Langley Park there. So he would put up the pictures in a while and so. You know? So give us a little detail with Langley Park.
But before we go to that, we were talking about the struggle,
there.
You know, and the thing is, I know the situation where, as I said, about 41 teachers, 41 or 47 teachers, they were in prison. They were arrested, and then, I mean, some were released. People like Simeon Green, all of those are people who were part. Mr. Morris, Lennox Morris, a lot of people. You know, and we can't forget this piece of history. It's important. It is too significant. That is why Pajak and I have the same belief that even if it is one person marching, we're marching still. You know, and people would say, why are you going to Bishop College? You're hiding. We're not hiding. Bishop College is where the march ended. That's where the teachers went and regrouped. You know, and it's so important that out of that, the Teachers Credit Union, which is a beacon that is contributing to our socio-economic development. So if the teachers did not march and fight, there would not have been that. Similarly, there would not have been a collective agreement. Because remember way back then, you had something called the Coutts Agreement, that if you get pregnant, you have to give up your job. You were fired. And then they put it a kind of way to say you have to be married. So all those things, the leave that you enjoy now, the vacation leave, all of that came out. When I go and I check in the archives and I saw some of the struggles that the teachers went through. In fact, OCAD, we now call it the CTF programs that people benefit now from training. When they decided to put trade union education as a course to train the teachers, the Milton Cato government said, if you're going to put that, there'll be no training. But the teachers were adamant. In fact, the Canadians were there standing with the teachers union. And the 1972 Public Service Act, that act preventing teachers from freedom of expression and political matters of national importance. Now, how could you put a dent on the intelligence of the society? People's freedom of speech. Which comes with the responsibility of not to defame. Right? And that was repealed. But if you give the government a chance, they will return to that and reinvent the wheel. That is why a lot of principals now can't speak.
Right.
They were without water in the school and they still run in school. Lack furniture, they can't talk to anybody. Ministry say, shh, 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 don't say anything. And some of our teachers are falling in line. Red ants biting up teachers at prep school upstairs. Grades 5 and 6. And when the teachers were flexing their muscles, the Ministry of Health run in and spray something and told the teachers, it is environmentally friendly. It is friendly. But they do anything. The teachers been still bitten by the ants.
Right.
There are number of schools that do not have printing facilities. They have to beg another school to help them to print test papers. I told them, go to the ministry. Carry a test there and let them find. Because there was a plan. When you set up resource centers in the communities or in the decentralized, or where you don't have a resource center, use the community center and you set up the printing facilities there. So that would feed a cluster of schools.
Right.
Same thing with counseling. If you don't have a counselor for every school, you have one that would serve 2 or 3 schools within a geographical area.
Right.
So a lot of time they talk about all these problems with students and they don't have counseling. Sometimes are just guidance officers.
Right.
You must have a master's. You understand? And the list goes on and on and on.
Right.
So we have to be mindful of all of the issues, nationally and otherwise. But I want to say something about the Constitution. You know, because I spend a lot of time with Parnell Campbell, Nicole Sylvester, those commission brothers. I know Bortram, for example, he was on the Constitutional Review Commission.
Right.
And you had to know the Constitution in and out when we were doing the constitutional reform.
Right.
England is part of the Commonwealth, not true? And we have members there,
Right.
Vincentians there. We have to go there twice.
Right.
We go to different islands in the Caribbean.
Right.
So I hear people questioning people's eligibility to run for political office.
Right.
And if we have lawyers in the country, they're supposed to know the Constitution. No matter how many passports you have.
Right.
Once you are a member of the Commonwealth, you could run for political office. The Constitution tells who is qualified and who is disqualified.
Right.
If you are a minister of religion. I'm not talking about a person just come in part-time and preach. You have to be a full-time licensed minister. Come like more or less you belong to a church.
Right.
That's your main church, but you may have other branches. Magistrates, justice of the peace. Those senior public servants, they are commissioner of police. They are director of audit. They are disqualified.
Right,
They're not qualified.
Right.
Once you're 18 years and older, you are Vincentian. You're in the right mind. I hope they don't carry any crazy people to vote, you know. Because they forget the disabled people, the people with disability. Now I hear they bring a new vehicle. You have to watch these things.
Right.
You don't say the people in Belize, the Garifuna, if they come here, take away lands and want job.
Right.
But we just sign the OECS free movement of people and capital, which is good.
Right.
But don't use that to try to big up yourself because people not stupid. They are making a comparison with Dominica, with the case with Douglas.
Right.
You have to read the situation. Dominica is now a republic.
Dominica has been a republic
so
for
it's
quite
no
some
longer
time.
under the Commonwealth.
Yeah, and they have been a republic for quite some time.
Canada is part of the Commonwealth.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, Vincentians, you have to open your eyes.
Right.
What the government is threatening to do is to create anarchy. We had a situation in Guyana some years ago where they had some problems with the electoral exercise, whether counting of votes or access to ballot boxes after and so on. And there was some constitutional matter that went to the court
Right.
that prevented the government from being sworn in. Now, how could that happen? Do we want that to happen? St. Vincent and the Grenadines experienced so many problems. Volcano, burial, COVID, you fired 500 workers plus 212 were teachers, and you couldn't get enough qualified people to fill it. When we asked the Minister of Education, he says only 7. It's only 7 qualified teachers. What they did now, they take a whole bunch of yes and set workers and put them in the schools, so schools have more teachers. Well, I shouldn't say teachers. Some of them are yes and set workers. But you fill up the school with all these people to tell people you have more teachers than students. The ratio has gone way beyond. But that is just a ploy. We must appeal to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be peaceful. Respect each other's views. I'm reading a lot of things on social media. I don't post up anything. I'm listening. Because when you're in leadership, you have to know.
Right.
You understand? I don't want to step on anybody's big toe. So let us live together. It's one island, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I'm encouraging the politicians, make sure that you stay healthy, pay attention to your mental health. Because who ain't cry, gonna cry. And make sure you get psychiatric help, psychosocial skills, because this thing could break you down. People take what you have, they would eat you out, they would vote you out.
It's very nice that you're concerned, Robbie, about
all that is happening around us.
Our mental state, the mental state of our politicians.
Yeah. Because we have teachers who going into, just
right.
like Dr. Kishore Shallow, he's my student.
Right.
He's my student.
Right.
And sometimes I am not saying whether I'm supporting him or not.
Right.
Because my vote is secret. But I never know Dr. Kishore is a liar. And I see some people putting up to say he's lying. You understand? I mean, the Bible says, let no man despise the youth.
Right.
If we're talking about the youths, why are we going there and calling people scavengers and lowest common denominator? You know, we should not be calling people's name, because at the end of the day, we have to work together. Exactly. I talked to a lady the other day, she said, hardly anybody coming to church. You sitting down on the same bench or pew, and this one is supporting the party and that one supporting. We do not need this.
Yeah, we don't need it.
We are one people, one nation, and we must stay together.
Okay.
Tolerance.
Yes.
You may disagree with somebody, but you must respect what they have to say, even though you disagree.
Okay, so you've gone down the rabbit hole again for a second time tonight. So back to Langley Park School. Tell me about Langley Park School.
Yeah, Langley Park School, we had a problem. You see, I must give credit to those people listening to us, including the authorities, especially through the radio programs and the TV programs. Because if we didn't speak and put up the first set of pictures about Langley Park, remember the last time we came here, we spoke about Langley Park, and the ceiling was falling apart.
Right.
So they have fixed that.
Right.
And we commend them.
Yeah.
When you do good, we say do good. When you do bad, you have to get licks.
Right.
Don't come and say the union political, Robinson political, the union is political. We're looking out for the children and the teachers.
So what's going on here with the hard coat in Lanley
They
Park?
start to, just like how they were fixing a road close by to the school,
Yes, I remember that.
right? With
Yes.
the big tractor and so on, making noise in people's head. They're digging out the hard coat. I don't know what they're going to do with it. They're just digging out and the children need the hard coat to play.
Play. So this, I have a very, this may sound like a stupid question. Couldn't this have been done during the summer vacation or wait until the Christmas break to do this?
Exactly. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
Those things are supposed to happen while school going on. You need it, yes. So what the teachers do, some of them just suck salt and say, boy, we've been waiting for a long time, and he comes, so we're not saying anything. We're not grumbling. That's like I went to Central Leeward a couple years ago, and a big cement mixer was in the yard, and they were mixing up cement in the yard, you know, and have all this kind of drilling taking place and school going on.
Yeah.
And
now,
when they throw the cement in the thing, that gone all over in the classroom.
and now that you mentioned that, I remember the demolition of the Grimble building at Girls High School.
They mash it down now.
Right, but that was being done while school is taking place. And think about the noise. There is a preschool right behind there. The dust. And we know we have a lot of asthmatic children. Even, Boys Grammar School is nearby. Kingston Preparatory School is nearby. Dust travel.
The demolition going on while school
is
going on.
going on. Intermediate high is above, and the preschools are nearby. And all of that is going on while school.
And they were blaming the alumni.
Right.
First person they blame are the contractors. But if you give me a contract, you have to give me a deposit.
Right.
If you don't give me the deposit, where you want me to find the money to start up? If I have 12 workers and you give me 4 capital projects, I must move at snail pace. Huh?
Right.
And the big truck, and now you see they're putting out, we need this.
Right.
They're putting out the employment there for saying, we need masons, we need carpenters, but so that is to secure some people. When they start, they say, boy, I have to, that is going to influence me of who to vote for. It's the responsibility of the government to create employment. But you don't do these things when you know election is just behind the corner. It's not right. That's all we're saying.
All right.
You have many time to do that.
Okay.
So be calm, be cool. When the election is out, we don't want any violence in the country.
Okay. So
I know the police are under pressure now. The police have to do their duties.
So Robbie, the last thing you're going to wrap up with is the court case.
Yes, the Court of Appeal, as we know, we have made our submission.
Right.
The government made a submission. They didn't want to put in writing. They wanted to make an oral
Presentation.
and the court told them no.
They have to put it in writing, yeah.
Somewhere along the line, somebody not trusting somebody. If our team makes its submission, its application.
Right. And we made that application since March.
Since in March.
This year, right.
And the court met in
April? No.
It met in September.
September, yeah.
September the 23rd.
Right.
The court met. We submit our affidavit. And then they said they're not making any affidavit. They will do something orally.
Right.
And the court said to them, you have to put it in writing.
Definitely.
Right? So the case management, we made a submission in October. The 13th. They made one the 20th.
Right.
And then we made our final submission the 28th. And then the court met just Thursday the 13th. And we are going to the Privy Council. So
right.
we have the leave.
So in
we have
other
the
words,
permission to go.
Right, the court.
So
granted
that
us
again, the
permission to
government
go.
was trying to prevent us from going to the Privy Council.
Right.
To say this matter is not, doesn't have any public interest.
And it does
You
not have it
you
in-
fired 500 people because they didn't take an experimental job. The people had to, you want the people to compromise the integrity of the body. The conscience, the violation of the conscience. And you fire them. And now you tell us, you tell the people, come back to work, all your benefits intact. And people get letters to say they now start to work.
Right.
And then you promise that you will go to the parliament and pass a law
So that they
so
can
that
get
people give out the pension.
pension.
But guess what you do? You dissolve the parliament.
Right.
Fool or talk, but not fool or listen. You understand? Because people think that Vincentians are stupid. But we're not stupid. Time is longer than twine.
Yep.
And you know how many people cried and prayed? And when my grandmother used to say, when people eye water go on you, it starts from the head right down.
Right.
I'm not going to talk about the monies, people talking about who getting this and who getting $40,000 a month. I'm not going to talk about that. Those are matters to the court.
Right.
But we cannot give a blind eye or a deaf ear to certain things.
Right.
We have an inquiry mind and we must take stock of where we are now and where we are heading to. All I'm saying, wake up. On election day, don't wear any party colors, any symbols. Could wear any symbols now. But when the 27th of November comes, you go to the polls, get there early. Don't go there misbehave. No shop is allowed to be selling alcohol.
Yeah.
Don't go there drunk.
Yeah.
Do not go there and misbehave and get into any problems with anybody.
Or else you may not be allowed to vote.
Conduct yourself to be best, Vincentians.
Right.
I hear the Christian Council reeling out some of the guidelines and the ethical code and so on. I hope this time they really pay attention. Because I heard the last time people had money in their pocket going around and threatening people about the pension. And there's some, I understand, is it, if the parliament is dissolved,
Right.
could the Prime Minister still get the Coast Guard to go down to Beckwith to campaign?
Not supposed to.
To transport him?
Not supposed
I'm
to.
just asking.
I mean, he's still the
Yeah,
Prime Minister,
but that is not government
but
business, that's a party business.
Yeah, that is a party business at this
So
time.
those things, I'm not offending anybody, you know, but I'm just asking. I just asking questions, and it appears to me, when you ask questions, people will sue you. But I'm a Vincentian and I need answers. When the government, when the IMF released about St. Vincent and Grenadines some years ago, right? About the NS funds.
Right.
And we sent a letter to the parliament to be read, and we made a release. CXC was meeting here at the same time, and I was at Peace Memorial Hall.
Right.
And the Prime Minister came down and he said, "What you studying Arnhem, use that?" I said, "No. Just like how you have your constituents, I have mine.
Right.
I have a right to ask questions." Because you sat on the Special Committee for Pension Reform. You and Andrew John
Right.
and members from the PSU. And all the recommendations we made to the government for pension reform.
Right.
Not one thing.
Was taken into consideration.
So what are you calling us for? Just to tell us what you're going to do?
Yeah.
No, we have a critical mind. We have ideas also. And that is what we call dialogue in a democracy. So our people must be conscious
Right.
and know the direction in which we are heading to.
Okay.
So let me just reiterate, behave yourself on Independence Day.
Independence Day, Election
well,
Day.
that is Independence Day too. Liberation. When the day comes, go, do what you have to do, behave yourself. The night, celebrate without violence.
Okay.
Good.
And folks, there you have it. I am not even going any further. There you have it. This has been another edition of Teachers Talk on Boom 106.9 FM. Robbie, let me thank you for being in studios with me and always being a heavy hitter. You really hit heavy this time around. I just had to leave you alone.
I realize
let you
that.
do your thing. And I think that's okay, right, Fuji? Right, yeah, that's okay. So let me thank you for listening in. Those of you who are listening on our Facebook live feed, we really appreciate it. Those of you who are always locked on Boom 106.9 on the airwaves, we love you, we appreciate you. People meet me all the time and say, oh, I'm listening to you, so we really love and appreciate you guys. Let me thank those again teachers who made it your business to support and be with us for Solidarity Week. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. We want to shout out our staff. They worked really hard for Solidarity Week, and also the executive members. Yes. Hi, Anne Mary. Anne Mary said, Robbie, you're a great president.
Tell them they are inspiration.
Yes. Yeah. So folks, Javed, thank you so much for being in the background doing everything. Fuji, he's here with me, and I know he's tired, but he's here still, and we really appreciate that. Now, you heard Brother Robbie. Behave yourselves for the election. Teachers, make sure that you do what you have to do. We're appealing for peace at this time and going forward. I just have one request, please. People ought to ease up with the horns now. Ease up with the horns, please, I beg all you. Both parties ought to ease up with the horns. Oh, gosh. No, seriously, I need to know the day and date. I need to know the day. What day does all campaigning stop and what time? I need that little reprieve. The horns are killed. The horns, no. So, once again, I'm your host, Fiona Charles Williams, the PR of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Teachers Union. I'm wishing you a productive work week and saying good night and God bless.